convene the board of the Virginia Nuclear Energy Consortium Authority. Do we have a quorum, Randy?
Yes, sir, we do.
Okay, very well. Good. The first order of business, ladies and gentlemen, is the approval of the minutes. If I could ask you to look at them quickly if you haven't, and then for somebody to make a motion to approve. We have a motion?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very well. Thank you so much for that. That carries. Our next article is to move into the old business, and that's to move into consortium member recruitment. And what we want to do is to update where we are to go ahead and bring a closure to this and go ahead and establish our consortium activities. So I'd like to get an outreach update if I could. Randy, can you give us any input as to where we are with that?
Yeah, but basically, if I think it'd be worthwhile for those people who have outstanding, who from the previous meeting had outstanding folks that they're working on, to give us an update on that. I know Sam had a couple that you said you just want to share with the group where we are. And then at the end of this, that for any group that has agreed to do it, if you get me their point of contact information, they need to identify someone who's going to be dealing with getting the group like organized. That we want to get that done is get them to have a meeting by the end of October, so they can get up and running and start moving on their own. And secondarily, so we can include that in the report to the GA that is due on the 15th of November. So, Simon, do you want to start off with some of the updates?
Sure. So I checked with VCU. I have not yet been able to meet the president, but everybody else that I met with in order to discuss this, everybody has been very supportive, and I'm 99% certain that VCU will support and will join the consortium at the level that we currently decided. I also had some conversations with Urenco. Same thing. I mean, they didn't say yes, but they had a major meeting going on this week. Actually, last week, it was last week when they had the major meeting. So they were supposed to get back to us this week to confirm whether they were interested in joining the consortium.
Okay, true.
I also talked to Test Medical. This is the one, the nuclear medical applications. They are very, very supportive, but they are not willing or able to produce any financial contribution to the consortium. So basically, they wanted to be kept abreast and they would provide input, but they weren't really.
Did they feel like 25 was too much, or they just weren't able in financial
Yeah,
situation?
yeah. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, so when I first approached them, even though I did send them our presentation, where it clearly sketched out that there was a financial commitment, and I reminded. I mean, I asked them, so have you seen it? I mean, you looked at this whole thing and did, oh yeah. So they provided me a person, and this person was calling me every other day. Oh, so what do I need to do? So when is the next meeting? I mean, so they were very interested, but then when I talked to him, okay, yeah, the next meeting is this day, this or that. But what about the 25,000? What 25,000? So yes, that, I mean, definitely that was a showstopper.
Barry, do you want to give an update on Virginia? And I said Siemens and Rolls-Royce on your list here as well.
Yeah, the University of Virginia is definitely in, so we will be contributing the 25,000. This is the number, so that's been approved. So that's definite.
Is that approved for 2014 or 2015?
It's approved immediately, whenever it's needed.
Yeah, we had talked about it being in October 1 through September 30th. I just want to make sure we were still on that same page. But that's okay. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, no, that's we're ready to move with that whenever the group is ready to move. I have had some continuing conversations with Rolls-Royce, and they have, I don't have a definite from them. I mean, their comment to me was this is something we should be involved in, and so I'm optimistic that they will want to be, but I don't have a definitive answer from them, and I don't have any additional progress in Siemens to roll with.
Do you have any sense of the schedule? Because we are going to want to set up the consortium beginning October 1. So as you're talking to those that are really on the fence, we're going to need an answer before October 1 for the initial establishment of the consortium.
I think we can get that answer from Box Voice.
And even if it's snow, at least we know it's snow, so we know what the constitution of the consortium looks like. Okay, thank you. Did you have Siemens too?
I had Siemens, and I have not made any additional progress on Siemens.
Who, you know, who you're trying to contact on Siemens?
Well, the person that that I've now worked with is Tony Ludwig, who's their industry sector CEO.
I might be able to help out with some contacts here.
Okay, I appreciate that. They're a great member of CCAM. They've been very, very supportive and anxious to get other things going, but just haven't been able to get an answer.
I know that David was yes on all three of the companies that he was working with. Got body, you were you able to connect with Norfolk Naval Shipyard?
No further contacts.
Virginia Tech, I'm happy to report is in for $25,000 for the first year. They were. I guess this is something that we will have to leave to the consortium to how they want to handle probably long term. But they kind of wanted to see what the first year was like before they were willing to make a further commitment. Which, considering their budget situation, I can understand. I think that's probably an appropriate thing for the consortium to deal with and how they want to handle moving forward from there. Do you agree?
Yes, and I think, did I hear you say that they're definitely in for the 25?
Definitely in for the 25, yes, sir.
I think that's the way we discussed it, is that we were having everybody step up for the first year.
Yeah.
No ongoing
Gotcha.
commitment
Gotcha.
after that, after we could demonstrate that that was a worthwhile endeavor on their part.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That Ollie's is not here, but I think I think it's been exhausted and reckoning with there.
Randy, I may have missed it. The ones that David was working on.
The Arriva, BMW, and GE Hitachi are all yeses.
Oh, yes.
Dominion as well. We've got a default gave that to David. See if that's okay.
Arriva, BMW, what was the third one?
GE Hitachi nuclear repair. And then from my list, we had CNU and ODU that we had not made contact yet with. Was anyone able to make any progress there? Okay. I guess not. So those are the pending ones that I had on my list. I know except when Don was going to talk to A&S, are they still?
Yeah, they said, no, I should just fund it myself.
Yeah.
Thank you. Did we not hear anything from Christopher Newport?
We're not hearing anything from Christopher Newport. And I can, that was, we had, Allie and Don was on my list here, so we're going to do outreach there, but I'll follow up with a Marine. I'm assuming that she could be able to give us an idea of whether they would have any interest. A Marine spoke with Mr. Mulheron, and he said that they were 99.9% in. So I got them down as yes, essentially. I think that's pretty much everybody else. Was there anybody else on your list, Don, that I'm missing here?
No, I don't think so. Most people I spoke to were very interested and just didn't have the finances to do it. They indicated that, like so many others, it's fascinating, it's interesting, we're doing business in Virginia, we really should be involved, and I reminded them about being there conspicuous by their absence. I mean, I couldn't say, David, that people wouldn't work with them if they didn't join up, although I wanted to. They promised to consider something. I told them I could only give them to the 22nd. That was the latest I could give them to make a decision, simply because we were forming the consortium on October 1. If they were going to be initially in it, we needed to know.
Yeah.
We have another week for that to happen.
Two others, so I don't know if you have any information about Newport News building.
Yeah, he was just.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they're.
Okay, I
Yeah.
have it. How about George Mason University?
I've not.
Because I did talk to them and we had a conversation, and they were interested, but again, they were trying to figure out whether the budget is going to have $25,000 for this, and if they are going to do that.
Yeah, you know, I think we've got several universities, a couple companies that are in that kind of, yeah, we like the idea, but we're not sure about the money thing. That, I mean, we have, for my count, I think we have about 10 commitments for the 25K. I think we just get them going, show the progress so that these other groups can be like, okay, well, they really are doing something. And then the consortium can bring them in at whatever level or position they want to bring them in the future.
Because I did hear you say that Arriva, BMW, GEH, and Dominion were all yes, right?
Yes.
So I'm just trying to add those up.
Yeah. And then Virginia Tech, UVA, VCU are all yeses, which gets us to 8. Then
Newport News Shipbuilding, you said yes, that
Yeah.
makes us 9.
yeah, and now is that I have Excel down as yes, being interested in.
Honestly, I don't know that I can do 25, but I'm willing to try to do something.
Yeah, well, then that's on. So, if you're willing to do something, I think that it's reasonable to be involved at the beginning conversations with the
Well, I have to be
consortium.
careful about how I get somebody involved in this because I can't.
Oh,
I can't be on
yeah,
both, so
yeah.
I have to find talk
there-
some VP into doing this. And that may be difficult. So give me to the 22nd along with everybody else.
Okay.
If nothing else, I may just commit to it and just support it.
Yeah, and then they can figure it out from there. So we certainly have enough to get the group started. So if for everyone who was doing outreach could provide for me the whatever point of contact the industry wants to, the company wants to have or the school wants to have to deal with this, that'd be great. My goal is to get a meeting scheduled in mid to late October, so depending on the availability of all these people, to get them organized, to elect leadership, to for them to do the articles of incorporation, to get them to figure out the finances, because I know that Ted has been asking where to send a check, which is nice, but I need to be able to tell them somewhere to get all that stuff worked out. So for those people who are doing outreach and have a commitment, please feel free to give me the point of contact as soon as you can.
Yeah, when we get all these points of contact, and then we'll be able to send out, if we could, next week, so we know who all the definite, a list of who the definite yeses are with the points of contact.
Yeah.
We'll find out what their schedules are to set this meeting in October. And if we have a number that are on the fence, that are close, and we can give them, I said the 22nd, but if we had to, I guess we could go to the 29th. The important thing is that everybody that's going to be in for the initial consortium establishment needs to be in before the October 1st timeframe.
Yep.
So that we can establish this. So if you have people that you think you need assistance with, for example, whereas Dave's helping with Siemens, and then we can help you reach out to whoever you need to if there's some assistance that you might need to get people over that. So if we have, because we said 12 to 15, we appear to have at least 9, 10. Then if we get 1 or 2 more, then we're right in the range at which we initially established for the consortium grouping.
Yeah. Good.
Any other comments about your reaching out or your continued efforts for outreach, ladies and gentlemen? And I want to thank each and every one of you that were able to do something I know wasn't easy in these financial times to find an institution or organization, irrespective of how significant and important they see this to be willing to do this, even if it's just for a 1-year establishment. So just remind you, it's at October 1 through September 30th, like a fiscal year, if you will, agreement to see where we are and to give them reason to believe why this is a continuing and ongoing activity they should continue to support. So
Was Mitsubishi on the list?
No,
I
they
think Mitsubishi-
pulled out of Virginia. They pulled out of Virginia.
Okay, so we'll get together. One of the things we're going to need to do, Randy, is to make sure once we get everybody's schedule is to go and speak with them at the meeting and remind, to explain to them what their role and responsibilities are as they establish themselves. Even though we'll have it in writing, I think it's something we, from the authority, need to tell them to.
Yeah, definitely. And for those of you who may be in one of the companies that is joining the consortium at some point, and that once they get established, that I'm not going to be able to help support them anymore because of FOIA and conflict and stuff like that, that there'll probably need to be some volunteer type of staff or that will need to kind of take